Hi, Samantha. Hello. Hi, Samantha. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Samantha Uncut, where I discuss celebrity news, hot topics, reality TV, and so much more. All commentary is alleged and in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Hey, everyone. I hope you all are having an amazing morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. I'm back with Hot Topic. Before we get into that, y'all know what to do. Make sure that you like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, don't forget to follow me on my social media platform at Samantha Uncut on Instagram and Samantha.uncut on TikTok. So let's talk about this trending hot topic where a Jamaican high school have banned edges in school, and social media is in shock of this new policy implemented by the St. Andrews High School. So a lot of people are not understanding what is the big deal about edges and why the school would ban edges. But since I'm Jamaican, I feel like this is a great topic for me to cover because I can provide a little bit more context for those individuals who may not understand the importance of why they are banning edges in school. So I was born and raised in Jamaica. I attended high school in Jamaica up till the age of 16. And Jamaica is very strict on school policy. You cannot wear nails, you cannot wear lashes, you cannot wear nail polish, your eyebrows, they cannot be shaved, your uniform has to be pristine, your shoes has to be clean, and it's all about their policy of how you should represent yourself while you're attending school and how you should present yourself as being an extension of that organization. They want to make sure that you are presenting yourself in a pristine manner and that you're operating while you're wearing that uniform, you're operating and carrying yourself with respect and dignity. So while edges may seem like it's such a small thing, it's not just about edges. It's also about attire, how you're looking while you have these dramatic edges drawn onto your face, according to Jamaicans. And if you weren't raised in that culture, it may be difficult to understand, but education is a major piece for Jamaicans. There's no compromise on that. And they are very strict about their rules. Like, you can be suspended if you get into a fight while you're wearing your uniform. You can get suspended if you try to break those rules and try to show up to the school wearing even extensions or wearing eyelashes, like fake eyelashes or nail polish. You can get suspended for those things. But anyways, the St. Andrews High School, they put out their policy to remind students that edges are banned, and this is what they posted on their social media page. So they put up this post saying absolutely no edges, and the caption says, "Reminder to students, please be advised that wearing of quote-unquote edges is now officially banned on campus. Remember, curtains belong in the house, not on your forehead." And it says, "Let's keep our looks neat and school ready. We appreciate your cooperation in upholding our standards of excellence as we continue honoring the legacy and inspiring the future." And it says hashtag life more abundant, hashtag school rules, hashtag reminder, hashtag SAHS 100. So since they have made that post, it has gone viral. It ended up on the Shade Room and it's gone viral on TikTok. And a lot of people have a lot of comments because they are just so confused on what is the big deal about edges. Why would the school ban edges? Like, of all things that Jamaica could ban, why are they focusing their time on banning edges? And that is because a lot of individuals, like I said before, don't understand the culture when it comes to education and school policy in Jamaica. So they are very confused on why edges is being banned. And it seemed like it's just such a simple thing, like they have bigger things to worry about. But as the school said, it is about keeping yourself looking neat and school ready. And as part of the culture and part of the school policy, wearing curtain bangs, quote unquote, is not something that looks tidy or neat to the school, and it doesn't go with the school policy or align with the school policy. So the school is banning edges. So some people in this shade room, they share the same sentiments as, you know, Jamaica have bigger things to focus on. They shouldn't be focusing on edges or banning edges. So one person says, if you ain't got no edges, just say that. Don't ruin it for everyone else. And someone else says, a lot of y'all are unfamiliar with how strict high school and school dress codes are in the Caribbean. It shows. This is very regular. Another person says, please remember and understand that Jamaica is an island with its own norms. At that school, academics is their focus. It's one of the best schools in the island for a reason. I can respect that the US is different and allows children to express themselves at school through fashion, but our culture requires children to focus on learning and sports, nothing else. And I totally agree with the last two commenters, because sports and education is a real big focus in Jamaica and the Caribbean, because it's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on, because growing up, you learn that there's literally only three professions. If you are not going to school to become a lawyer, doctor, or teacher, don't tell your parent that you want to try anything else. Like, you working or you wanting to be an entrepreneur, or you saying that you want to be some content creator, that does not fly with Caribbean parents. So when you think about how you're raised and their customs and their norms, this is a very regular thing for me. And it was so shocking to see. Not that it was shocking, but I giggled a little bit because I saw the reaction from people who don't understand how strict schools are in Jamaica. Like, my family used to always threaten my cousins to send them to Jamaica for school, because they understand how strict schools are there, and they felt like my cousins, they were just getting away with a lot of things with schools here, or as they would say, schools in foreign. So it's very interesting to see the reaction from different people who don't understand the cultural differences or the cultural norms in the Caribbean. But I also wanted to read directly from the Ministry of Education policy when it comes to dressing and grooming. So this is coming from the Ministry of Education and Youth, their policy on student dress and grooming policy for 2023. This is the same policy that is in effect right now. So it says the National Student Dress and Grooming Policy is significant milestone achieved by the Government of Jamaica through the Ministry of Education and Youth in association with collaborating ministries/agencies and departments. And this is the important piece that I wanted to highlight when it comes to student dress and grooming policy as it pertains to Jamaica. It says that schools are a microcosm of our society, and as such, they provide the foundation for socialization and preparation for students to enter the wider world of work and civic engagement. Dress and grooming form a critical part of the development of students, and within this context, the Ministry of Education and Youth is committed to the holistic development of our students, in which the cognitive, spiritual, and socio-emotional needs are nurtured. So, according to the Ministry of Education in Jamaica, schools are not only a vital piece of their foundation when it comes to socialization and preparing students for the workforce and for the real world, but it's also important in how they deem their spiritual and socio-emotional needs and how they nurture those. And not only that, the schools in Jamaica are an extension of your parents. So they have this policy or idea in place where it says basically schools are in place of your parents. So when you attend school, basically the schools are there to kind of carry on the same nurturing and the same rules that your parents would carry on if you were at at home. So that's their idea of why certain schools are so strict on their policy, and especially when it comes to dress and grooming. Like I said before, you can get suspended if you are found to be outside of school hours in your uniform fighting or creating any kind of problems. You can still be suspended even though you're not on school property and even though you're outside of school hours. You can't even go into a bar wearing your uniform. So that is how strict and how they look at schools and how they look at education in Jamaica. Not only that, wearing such dramatic edges is a distraction, and it's taking away from a child's education in the teacher's eyes and the parents' eyes, and how Jamaicans view education. It's taking away from what the children should be focusing on. Instead of focusing in time on perfecting edges or perfecting eyelashes or perfecting eyebrows, they should be spending that time in school learning about their book. If you are a Jamaican or a Jamaican descendant, you understand this concept, because you will always hear, go study your book. If you are not studying your book even on a Sunday and you want to take up yourself, well, you want to go party, no, that's not happening. You need to go read a book. And this ban is not something that just came out of the blue. I think social media just realized this, or they just announced it on social media. But parents of that school, they have been notified about the impending ban, and parents agreed to that. And this comes from one person, Yendi Phillips. She's a former Miss Jamaica Universe. She's now a host on CVM TV in Jamaica. She's a host for one of their morning show, and this is what they had to say about the ban. So we'll be hearing from Yendi Phillips and IT Ellis. He's also an actor and comedian. Both of them host the morning show Sunrise Jamaica on CVM television in Jamaica. So this is what they had to say based on the ban of edges at St. Andrews High. And this is for fair use purposes only. I'll be stopping and commenting throughout to provide any context or clarification based on what they're saying.
I have to say, there are different viewpoints, and I've heard some of the viewpoints on both sides. But I am a stickler for rules and for order, and if it is order, I hear that there's also some backstory that we don't know why it is so. Yes. But I'm a stickler for rules and order in a school, in uniform.
So what IT is saying here is that when he says that he's a stickler for rules and order in school, he means that when it comes to school rules and order, there is no compromise. Like, he agree with the school rules and he agree with what the school is saying, because he is very firm on school maintaining order and rules.
So I am going to weigh in on the side to say, hey, it's not a fashion show. And I hear that it's sometimes the edges are outrageous. It just doesn't look suitable for school.
I'm a St. Andrew old girl. My daughter is currently a St. Andrew student. And when this thing came up, it was presented to us as parents. It wasn't just sprung on us. There was a conversation had.
So Yendi just confirmed what I said earlier, that the school actually had a meeting, a conversation with the parents, and they brought the idea forward. So it wasn't something that just came out of the blue and the parents were like blindsided or anything like that. They knew that this ban was coming.
And we were told that this was imminent. This was coming.
That's good.
And let me explain why it is much more than just grooming and appearance. What also happens is there's a gathering in the bathrooms, and everyone is gathering to get prettied up and dolled up and doing their edges to head on home.
Now, right here, I'm not gonna lie. When they are in the bathroom prettying up themselves, doing their edges and trying to look good to go home, quote unquote, they're not actually going home. They sometimes have their little boyfriend that they want to look pretty for, and they're gonna see their boyfriend outside, so they want to doll themselves up. And this is another reason why schools are banning edges, and so that you know, it's not a fashion show, and students can actually focus on their academics instead of focusing on relationships. So there's another element to this ban.
And then the people who actually need to use the bathroom facility cannot access the bathroom facility. You can't make your way into the stalls, you can't get access to wash your hands, because there's a whole grooming session happening in, when I say every single bathroom. So you literally, you see, you need to urinate between 2:15 and 2:30, forget it. And so there needs to be some sort of structure and order, and they realize that it's literally becoming an obsession. So it's not that they're saying there's no room for decorum, there's no room to present yourself in a way that is respectable, but what they're saying is you're going too far.
So the school is not saying that you can't have your edges tamed. They just don't want you coming in with these curtain edges that are all the way down to your eyebrows or to your nose. They just don't want to see that.
This is too much. So when you have edges that come down into the eyebrow, when you have people who can't access the restroom because people are literally huddling in the restrooms to prepare themselves to head on up because they're trying to make sure their edges are, there needs to be a bit of a reining. And I will say this, I, as a former old girl, as an old girl, I went to the school and many of the rules were very upsetting for me as a student. You see, today now,
as a
I'm
parent,
so grateful for them.
And that is my exact sentiment. When I was attending high school, the rules, I did not agree with them. I was trying to like rebel sometimes against the rules, even though I know I wouldn't get away with it. But I've always said that I would never trade growing up in the Caribbean for anywhere else, because I love the roots and the foundation that I have, knowing that, you know, they were strict, and as the woman that I am today, they kind of ground me and they make me look at the world in a different way when it comes to how you're supposed to present yourself to the world and how you're supposed to move about the world, in not only in a professional setting but also in a social setting. I would never trade that for the world. So I do agree with schools being strict on certain things, because there's a lot that parents are trusting schools with their children when they leave home. So I 100% agree with the schools taking this stand on banning edges and making sure that they are maintaining decorum, neatness, and the dress code policy for these schools, and just to make sure that students are keeping in line with that tradition and focusing more on their education than they are on fashion, because it's going to help them in the long run. And yes, I do know that Jamaica have bigger problem, but one thing at a time, child. One thing at a time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share, and I'll see you guys in my next video.